What's going on, guys? Houston Sports Talk back into the video, and today I'm going to be going over what the best options for the New York Jets at quarterback is after Aaron Rodgers, starting quarterback, tore his Achilles in their opening Week 1 game against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football last night. MRIs confirmed this morning, that Aaron Rodgers will be out for the season with a torn Achilles, which is what they feared, and pretty much everybody knew Rodgers had a torn Achilles. And now the Jets are stuck with the decision of what they do at quarterback. Do they stick with Zach Wilson? As of right now, they're calling veteran quarterbacks, either free agents or teams that backup or third string quarterbacks that are currently on teams. And I'm going to be going over some of the best options for the New York Jets at quarterback because I don't think keeping Zach Wilson at quarterback for the New York Jets is the right option. But at the same time, I mean, it might be better than picking up some of their other better options. It might be better than doing anything else. All right, starting with number one, and it's Tom Brady. Let's just get that out of the air. It's not happening. You can make the call. Make the call. Try to. I mean, Tom Brady's not gonna go to New York, but you don't not make the call. Make the call. Probably Tom Brady's gonna say no. So, and there's multiple reasons. I mean, he's enjoying retired life. He just said he's not in football shape, and he doesn't really want to come back, and he's enjoying retired life. Also, Tom Brady wouldn't be able to be a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders and be a quarterback for the New York Jets. So that would ruin his ownership deal with the Raiders. That's not official yet. I don't think they've signed the papers, but he won't be able to, and he won't be able to make he won't be able to be a part owner of the Raiders just yet if he becomes the quarterback for the New York Jets. Honestly, why would Brady want to go to New York? Look at their offensive line situation. 4 plays. It took 4 plays. And even the plays before, even the plays before where Aaron Rodgers got sacked by Leonard Floyd and you saw him get hurt. Aaron Rodgers was getting a lot of pressure in those first 4 plays. So Tom Brady, 6 years older than Aaron Rodgers, why would he want to come back to the New York Jets when there's a chance with how terrible that offensive line is? Tom Brady, the same thing can happen to Tom Brady of what happened to Aaron Rodgers last night. I don't think if Tom Brady's going to come back, which I don't think he will come back, it's going to be to the Las Vegas Raiders if they need him to, which I don't think it's going to happen. But I don't think Tom Brady's an option. I think you could make the call, and you'd probably have to offer him a lot of money to come there to play in New York. At 2, and I think this might be the best option for the New York Jets, is calling up the Washington Commanders and trying to trade for Jacoby Brissett to get a quarterback that is a mobile quarterback and can run away from pressure. Which whoever comes in to be the quarterback for the New York Jets is gonna have to deal with pressure, especially with facing good defensive lines. I mean, the Jets play the Cowboys this year. They play, they just played the Bills once. They play the Bills again. They're going to play the Dolphins twice. They're going to play the Patriots twice. They have a good defensive line and a good defense. They face a lot of good teams that have good defensive lines and great defenses. So whoever comes in, whether it's Zach Wilson, if he's the starting quarterback, or they bring somebody else, whether it's a retired guy or it's a potential free agent or a trade, that quarterback's gonna have to deal with pressure. So why not bring in somebody who is gonna be able to get out pressure and run? And also, this guy stepped up big last year when Deshaun Watson was suspended for the first 9 or 10 games of the season. And I'm talking about Jacoby Brissett, currently on the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are committed to Sam Howell, and the only thing is, what would the Commanders do at backup quarterback if Jacoby Brissett is gone? I guess they just sign a backup quarterback to be the backup for Hal. I think it's going to be interesting to see, what happens with potentially Jacoby Brissett. I think he'd be a great option for the New York Jets, and I honestly think, that is probably the best option for the New York Jets, is to bring in Jacoby Brissett. Look how he did on a Browns team, which I think this Jets offense and this Jets defense and their whole team around Jacoby Brissett would be way better than the Cleveland Browns team he played on last year. I think they would be pretty decent. I don't know if they make the playoffs with Jacoby Brissett, but I think they would have way more of a chance to make the playoffs than, with Zach Wilson. As of some other options I think would be good for the New York Jets at quarterback, how about maybe rolling the dice and starting Zach Wilson and then picking up one of the following veteran free agent quarterbacks in free agency? I'm thinking of three guys who have some experience in the NFL and have had some success. Two of these quarterbacks have been to the Super Bowl before. One of these quarterbacks has been, or two of these quarterbacks have been MVPs, and one of these quarterbacks has been Super Bowl MVP. And I think maybe potentially picking up one of the three of these quarterbacks to be a backup quarterback for Zach Wilson and potentially be the starter for the Jets. And I'm thinking of three guys: Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, and Nick Foles, to potentially be signed by the New York Jets. Currently, Matt Ryan is neither of these guys are on any teams. Nick Foles last played for the Indianapolis Colts, as of Matt Ryan did. They were both on the Colts. Matt Ryan was the starter. Nick Foles was the backup. Then you saw Matt Ryan get benched by the Colts, and Nick Foles became the starter. Then Nick Foles got hurt. Then you saw, the starting job keep getting exchanged between Matt Ryan and Sam Ehlinger, rookie quarterback last year. And then Matt Ryan didn't officially retire. He did join CBS and was on the call for the Buccaneers-Vikings game last week on Sunday. But Matt Ryan has said that if a team calls him and asks him and offers him a contract, that he will come out of, I guess, sort of retirement and come back to the NFL. Nick Foles didn't play for any team throughout training camp or preseason, and neither did Carson Wentz. So neither three of these guys have played on a team during training camp or preseason. So I don't know if I'm sure Carson Wentz. I don't know about Matt Ryan or Nick Foles has been working out. I mean, I'm sure they've all been working out, but consistently training, getting ready to maybe join a team. I don't know how ready Matt Ryan is to join a team. Same thing goes for Nick Foles, but I think Carson Wentz is potentially been expecting maybe to get signed. I think he's known that since July it's been pretty much possible that he could get signed any day, especially with injuries at the quarterback position. But I think those are some options right there at quarterback. And I think another good trade option right here is a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. And no, it's not Trey Lance. I'm thinking of Cooper Rush. Just like Jacoby Brissett, who stepped up last season while Deshaun Watson was suspended, Cooper Rush stepped up while Dak Prescott was hurt last year, and they did a good job of it. He did a really good job for the Cowboys last year. They have Trey Lance. Show Trey Lance you're committed to him as the backup quarterback and get a good draft pick for Cooper Rush, because I think the Jets would overpay, maybe send a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick for Cooper Rush, and same thing goes for Jacoby Brissett, because, probably Jacoby, honestly, and here's how I feel, I think Jacoby Brissett and Cooper Rush are two of the best quarterbacks that the Jets will be able to find in the trade market. Look at some of the other options. I mean, I've heard Ryan Tannehill. He just threw 3 interceptions this week. I don't know who else would trade a quarterback. So, there are teams that would trade backup quarterbacks, but I think adding in Cooper Rush and Jacoby Brissett, one of those guys those are two of the best backup quarterbacks in the NFL that you can find. So, I think those would be great options for the New York Jets. And then a couple other options that I don't think are possible, and that is Jameis Winston and Phillip Rivers. I don't think Phillip Rivers is coming out of retirement. I know, he was going to do it last year if the San Francisco 49ers made it to the Super Bowl and beat the Eagles without Brock Purdy, because they would have been without Brock Purdy, because Trey Lance was out for the year, Jimmy Garoppolo was out for the year, and then Brock Purdy got hurt. And if the 49ers would have somehow beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, they were going to pick up Phillip Rivers. I think it is an option, but I don't think it will happen. He hasn't played since 2020, and that was last year. I'm thinking maybe it's possible, but I don't know. And then I think Jameis Winston is not available. I don't think the Saints will trade him. I know Derek Carr is their guy, but they don't have a backup quarterback after Derek Carr. Derek Carr and Jameis Winston are their two only quarterbacks on their roster. They have a rookie. I can't remember what his name is. I think they drafted him in like the 5th or 6th round, but he got suspended for the first 6 games due to enhancement drugs. So I think most likely that Jameis Winston will stay on the Saints roster for at least the first weeks of the season. But I can't remember that rookie quarterback's name that got suspended. But yeah, I mean, those are some of the best options for the Jets at quarterback to potentially. You can go with Wilson and pick up a vet like Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, or Nick Foles, or even Joe Flacco for that matter, who started like 3 or 4 games for the Jets last season. You could trade for a good backup quarterback to be the starter like Cooper Rush or Jacoby Brissett. You could take a long shot that probably won't happen and maybe call up Tom Brady. Or there are other options. Maybe Davis Mills. That's probably not the best option. Case Keenum. Those are 2 quarterbacks with the Houston Texans. I think there are probably a couple other trade options. Maybe Mitch Trubisky if the Steelers are willing to get rid of him. There are definitely some other trade options and maybe even a couple of their free agency options to come in to either be a backup or a starting quarterback for the New York Jets. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoy them, your thoughts, and peace out.